Hi, it's Sue. Welcome back to my channel today. I hope you're well, looking forward to the weekend and ready for a little bit of crafting. As you can see on my desk, I have some rather small pieces and paper clips. What I'm doing today is a take on Tracy Fox's covered slide-on paper clips. Very clever, really like this idea. And as you can see, I've got 3 there, and she actually worked with 2-inch paper clips, which is this size. I rarely use that size, but for something like this, it's perfect. And I had a few. I worked out the measurements also to do a smaller one, and this is more the size of paper clip I generally use. But yeah, I think they're really good, and you can make them out of scraps, and as you know, I quite like using up some of my scraps. So I thought for those who haven't seen Tracy's video, and I will link it below, I'll make a couple and share mine with you. Okay, so as I say, I use scraps. And on my desk, I had scraps of music paper and also this paper, which is the grungy paper I used from a Fiber Vintage, I think they're called. So I'm going to use those 2 to make my 2 paper clips today. All right, so we'll move those to one side. Now, these are the measurements that you need for one paper clip. Okay, so for one 2-inch paper clip, you will need a strip of paper that is 1.5 inches across by 2 3/4 inches long, which is this one. And obviously that's for the long side of the paper clip. And then the second piece, you'll need the same 1.5 inches across, but this time the length is slightly shorter. It's 2 3/8. Okay, 2 3/8 of an inch. I'm going to leave those measurements there. So let's put the paper clip on so it stays down. Now the first thing you need to do is to fold these in half, this way, portrait way. Okay, it doesn't have to be too firm, just so that you've got them in half. Decide which. And I've cut my paper because I want my clips this way. So if this is the long side, which it is here, I want them down this way. Okay? And the short side, the same. And for these, I mean, these are mixed, collage pieces, so really doesn't matter particularly which way they go. But again, I was thinking I'd like the long side this way and the short side. I'm not so worried about the short side because I make the long side the piece that goes on the top of my page. This bit goes underneath. I mean, obviously you'd see it from the other side of the page. Here I wanted, this is a butterfly print, so I kept it just plain with the butterfly. I've actually added a butterfly to that one, but this one I kept plain. I mean, you can always add afterwards. Okay, so we've done that and we've folded them. The next thing we have to do is cut a strip off the top, from the top. So once you're happy, you know which the top is. Just trying to think how I'm going to do this. If I do it that way, it's going to be upside down. So the top of mine is here. So I have to take from what will be the back of mine 5/8 of an inch. So 5/8 of an inch is, better just grab a pencil. I'm actually working downstairs at the kitchen bench. It's too warm upstairs today, so I've brought the camera down here and I've just got the few bits that I need downstairs. So I'll probably be doing a bit of up and down because I'm going to need the sewing machine. 5/8 is here. And that is 5/8 into the centre. Okay. And we just need to cut that. Tracy made herself a little template for this and kept that to save measuring each time, which isn't a bad idea. I mean, you could keep that piece as your 5/8. And then you've got it. Okay. So now that's the front, that's the back. And then we have to do the same on this piece. There we go. So there's the first two. We'll do the same with this one. Okay, we've done the same for the second one. Fold it in half, 5/8 off the top, and this will be the inside. And then the same on the shorter piece, 5/8 of an inch on the inside. And the reason you're doing that is when you put them together, you'll put them together like this. This is so that your paper clip can slip in. But what you see on the top, back and front, is the pattern paper at the top. Okay? Okay, the next job, okay, corner round, and then we sew each piece and you sew all the way round the outside, all the way round, and as close as you can to this edge, because ultimately your paper clip has to fit into this sleeve. You're basically making a sleeve for your paper clip. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and round my corners and stitch down all 4 pieces, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are. All the corners have been rounded and I've stitched around them as well. And some of mine are better than others. The thing is to take your time stitching. You want to keep as close as you can to the edge. Right, so now what I want to do is just ink around the edges a little. Oh, that needs a trim. Okay, so now the next thing is to slot in our clips. So let's do the long edge first, and all you do is slot that in, making sure the short edge is outside. Okay, and push it right the way down till it meets that shorter edge. Okay, and then do exactly the same with the smaller side of the paper clip. And again, you push it right the way down and level up these tops, like so. Now the next thing we want to do is glue this area at the top. Okay, glue this rounded area here. We're going to press them together. So I'm going to use art glitter glue. I'm going to move up here a bit so hopefully you can see. All right, so marry them together, make sure they're well matched up. And that's the first one. We'll leave that for a moment to dry and set up this second one. So again, this is the top, and we want the long end in first. So you just slot it in the back there, make sure the short end sits over the back of that pocket, and push it right the way down. There's a little bit space at the bottom, but that's good. Okay, center it. Then take your short edge, or your shorter piece, there's the back, and slot that in, pushing it right the way up to the top. Marry those edges together. There we go. And then we just need to glue. There we are. Might want to do a bit more inking. And it might well be that you want to use this side as the good side. Really, you know, it doesn't matter. As long as you get yourself organised from the start, really doesn't matter. Okay, next thing. Next we need to punch a hole using a hole punch crocodile, and we're going to set a couple of eyelets. And I've got a couple of small ones here. These were done with slightly larger ones, but I'm going to use these smaller ones. So you're punching in that area that you've just glued. Okay, and bear in mind when you punch these, the idea of this is that you could hang a bulb pin with a charm, some form of dangle, using that eyelet to secure, and punch. There it is. Get rid of that piece. Okay, and then we need to set our eyelet. And this is where it's important that you decide really which side you want as the top, because obviously the underneath is going to be the splayed out eyelet. I mean, if that bothers you, then yes, you definitely need to decide which side is the top. I'm calling this the top because my clefts are the right way around. All right, so we'll set this. I mean, if you're not bothered about that eyelet, don't worry about it. I think in the general scheme of things, by the time you've got something hanging off there, it's not such a big issue. Okay, so set that. There it is. So it doesn't look too bad. Okay, so that's that one. Leave that for a minute. Let's do this one. Same thing, it's the top. Now I want this as the right side. Okay, now it's up to you how you decorate them, whether you want to decorate them. This one, I'm just going to add a charm, a bolt pin. There, that's better. So they are paper clips. So that was my latest post for 100 days in my everyday journal. Here's my everyday journal, and I thought I'd add this paper clip, and I was going to add it that way, but I think I'll add it this way because I've got the same image. And what I've done is I have changed the charm and added a key. So let me just see how this goes. All right, so it's going to go on this way, and it will go on about there. Yep. There you go. All right, so that sits on like that. Let's tie her up. There we are. That will do for now. Okay, so that was my video for today, my little craft project. I'm calling them Trace's slide-on covered paper clips. Hope you like those. As I say, I will link hers. I will also link to another lady who does something very similar, and she actually has designed paper to work with her paper clips. So I'm going to add her on the bottom. Go and take a look. That's also a really good idea, especially if you're mass making. So if you're making in bulk, that would be the way to go. All right, thank you so much for calling past today. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.